Good morning, and thank you for joining me for another session of Broken to Beautiful. It has been quite a journey, and we are going ahead strong as ever. Today, we are talking about how to let go of a situation that has caused you pain or someone who has hurt you. Mainly, we want to focus about letting go of the person, who might have been involved in the incident. Just a quick reminder that this series is not a comprehensive teaching, but there is a comprehensive teaching that's available if you're interested. You just got to shoot me a message B2B, that says B2B, and be sure to join the details of how you can go about being a part of this awesome journey that takes you from your brokenness to your place of beauty and give you a measure of peace. So yes, we're looking at how do we let someone go? And I'm going to share a story with you. I remember when I think I was either my late teens or early 20s. There was a point in my life when I was dating a particular guy. And at that point, let me say this, my self-esteem was so dashed by the experiences that I've had. And I felt so low about myself. I didn't even realize that I had low self-esteem. I did not realize. Hi, Coffee. Thank you so much for joining us. I didn't realize that my sense of self was so dashed. The only thing I know is here I was dating this guy who was pretty cute, and I was so desperate, yeah, I'm going to say it, to be in a relationship. And I'm sure that for a lot of us, we felt there at some point. It's like we just need somebody there. We just want that connection. We want to know that we are loved. And we do a lot of things to accommodate that supposed love. And this is how this guy broke up with me. I had been by his house helping him clean his apartment and all that stuff, and then he was like, okay, he's gonna drop me home. And he did. He dropped me home, and as I was getting out of the car, he said, I think this will be the last of it for us. Literally, that's what he said. I never forgot those words. So I looked back at him and I was like, you mean the last of me helping you clean up? He was like, no, this is it. I don't want to see you again. Now, we had not had a fight or anything like that, but the truth is, I remember going by his house, and while I was cleaning the bathtub, there was this long strand of hair. I mean, my hair is long, but the color and all of that they weren't my hair, and they were his hair. And I'm like, what's with that? He said to me at that moment, what do you think? If you see hair and it's not my hair and it's not your hair, think, don't be stupid. And I still stayed. And I felt horrified. So when he dropped me home and he said, this is it for us, no more, I was like, my goodness, I have swallowed so much, suppressed so much of what it is that I really wanted in a relationship, put up with so much crap, and you're still breaking up with me. And he was very unceremonious about the way that he broke up. He was like, get out of my car. Go. I don't want you here anymore. You would have sworn that I had done something or we had had an argument before. And do you know, I still sat in that car and tried to get this guy to explain to me what was the problem. Why is it that we were over? I mean, come on, man. The mere fact that he was cheating and I knew it and put up with it was enough reason. I should have been thanking him for breaking up the relationship. I should have been thanking him for doing what it is I lacked the courage and the guts to do. I should have been thanking him what my broken self did not even recognize, for what my broken self didn't even recognize that I needed. And instead, for a long time after that, I felt so hurt and I just could not let go of this guy. It's like I still wanted to try. I still wanted to get to know him better. I still wanted to be with him. I'm like, God, what is wrong with you? At a certain point, I was like, stop it. So there was a war going on inside of me. There's a part of me that know that throughout that whole dating thing, he did not treat me the way that I deserved to be treated. And there was this other part of me thinking, but he's such a, he's been nice, and I like him. He also had been horrible, and we've got to get real. And I say, what does all of this has to do with letting go? For a long time, I pine, if you might call it that, over this person who had treated me so horribly. This person who did me a favor and I could not appreciate the favor. Him waking up with me was better than me being alone or feeling lonely, because I lived with a lot of insecurities. I was never sure if it was okay to go over, and if I did, what I would see, if he would have time to spend with me, what mean thing would come out of his mouth, how he would degrade me. And so I lived with a lot of insecurities, walking on eggshells, not sure how to move. And I felt hurt still by the way in which that relationship ended. And I held on still. I couldn't let go. I was mad. I was like, how dare you treat another human being like that? How dare you treat me like that? Have you ever been in a position like that? Here you are. Somebody has done you something, and you're wondering, your family, your friend, you're somebody who's supposed to love me. Why? How could you have done this thing to me? And so we live with the memories that keep going on and on, over and over in our minds. And it is hard to let go because we cannot understand why. So we hold on to it. We hold on to a lot of things that we do not understand. But here's the big thing. You cannot let go and hold on at the same time. So you've got to make up your mind. What is it you really want? Do you want to hold on and remember and live in the memories and never forget how they betrayed you and the hurt and the humiliation? Or you want to let it go, and not let it go to say, oh, look, I am doing so much better without you, because then you haven't quite let go as yet. Whenever the person is the focus of your actions, when they are the motivation for you doing this or doing that, then you have not let go as yet. If when you do something, you say, oh, I'm going to show them, or I'm going to let them see how much better I can do without them, you have not let go. You're still holding on. They still have that influence over you. They are still directing your steps. In letting go, you've got to cut those ties. So how do you go about doing that? And I'm going to state something very obvious. Break contact. Break contact. Let them go. Hi, Lester. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah. Break the contact. That might sound overly obvious, but stop contacting them. That is the first thing you want to do. Like I said, you cannot let go and hold on at the same time. And if you maintain contact, what you're doing, you're just feeding the situation and opening up yourself for more hurt. So the first thing you want to make sure you do is you just break contact. It's like going cold turkey, coming off of a high or something like that, just deciding no more. It's going to bring up in you a lot of, what if I tried again? Is it a mistake? Am I going to end up lonely? Is this the right thing to do? But I still love them, but I miss them. We had some really good times. All of these are going to go over and over in your mind. So when you've made up your mind that you want to let go and you break contact, you're going to need to get your reasons together why letting go is your best option. In that incident that I mentioned earlier, it was because I wasn't being treated the way I should be treated or wanted to be treated in a relationship. It was good to let go. Because he would never be the man. He wasn't the man that I wanted him to be, and would never be the man that I wanted him to be, because he was so selfish and wrapped up in his own desires and what it is he wants. It was okay to let go. Because he was treating me less than I deserve, it was okay to let go. Because he humiliated me publicly and privately, it was okay to let go. Because I deserved so much more as a human being, it was okay to let go because I wanted somebody who could see the value of what I bring to a relationship and appreciate that. It was okay to let go. In other words, it was okay to release what was. It was okay for me because what was serving, not serving me in the first place. And it was bringing more hurt into my life. So it was okay to let go. You need to find your reasons why it is okay to let go. Because if you do not have a reason to let go, you're going to stay where you are. So when in this situation or for this person who have hurt you, what are your reasons for letting go? How does it benefit you to let go? Because obviously holding on isn't helping you. So what are your reasons for letting go? So there's two things that you've got there so far. You've got to cut contact. Yes, you've got to cut contact. Now, some people might say, but what if it's my child's father or we have some other connection that keeps us in touch? You can still cut contact. In terms of, now sometimes cutting contact literally means you don't call them, but if it is, say, a child's father, an ex or something like that, that y'all got some connection still going in terms of a child, or maybe you're running a business together, you could do one or two things. Or you could just do this. If it really, you don't make up excuses to call the person. Yeah, some of us do that. We find 1,000,001 reasons, like there's nobody else in the universe who could accomplish this task but that person who has hurt us. So you do not make up reasons to call the individual. If it has something specifically to do with your child, you do that, you finish it, and you move on and you let it go. You do not hold prolonged conversations about whatever. Well, if you all are friends, but we're talking about if you're looking to let someone go. You want to be able to cut that interaction, that contact. Stop making excuses why you need to be in touch with the individual. You can do a whole lot for yourself, and they're not the only person in the world. So you've got to decide. We've got a comment here from Coffee that says, understand that someone who leaves you is linked to your destiny. Love yourself enough to let them go. Oh my goodness, that is so beautifully worded. I can't even add to that. It is the truth. People come, and people say this all the time, some people come for reasons, seasons, etc. And it is the truth. Sometimes some people cross our path because we made a bad decision. And from that decision, we've got to learn something so we do not repeat it. So that was their function, that was their purpose, though we hoped for something else. It is like when you plant a seed, somebody coming into your life, the words that they would say to you are seeds that they will deposit. And like a farmer, if a seed is not blossoming well, if it is not growing well, or you sense that that fruit somehow it's just not going to turn out right, or it's not what you want, it's okay to dig it up. So people come into our lives and they deposit seeds of good and bad, and we could either accept those seeds or we could let them take root. We could let them take root, or we could dig them up and get rid of them. So this is what letting go is. It is saying, look, you came and you deposited some stuff in my life and it isn't good for me. I'm digging up. But the good things, I could take that and move on with it. But I want to share some more points about how we let go. So as I said, you want to first cut contact with the individual and stop making excuses why you need to be in touch with them, because a lot of the times we've got other persons that could do it, or we could do it ourselves. Adversity gives us an opportunity to prove our strength. So you've got to cut contact. We can't move on and hold on at the same time. You're going to be torn apart, and that is why you're feeling so distressed. And then you want to be honest with yourself about why is it you need to let go. What is it that this thing is not given to you? What is it it's taken from you that you would rather keep for yourself? Is it your dignity? Is it some of your integrity? Is it your sense of self? Is it your self-esteem? What is it that they are taking from you that you want to hold on to? Find your reasons for letting them go, for saying that this is enough and I'm cutting it off here and chopping the head off of it so that there'll be no more life. Find your reasons for letting go. And then I'm going to repeat this so many times throughout this process. You've got to face your feelings. Look, hiding something, suppressing it, it just causes us more harm in the long run. Not only does it cement and take root, it tends to make us either physically ill, emotionally distraught, very uptight, tense all the time, snapping at the people who are there for us, not being able to show love. We close ourselves off, and then we got a whole ball of negativity, a whole spiral that starts happening because we will not face what we really feel. I felt, in the story that I told you earlier, I felt humiliated. I felt really, really humiliated. I think that when I sat down and think about it, I was more embarrassed by my own actions than him breaking up with me. But I had to be honest with myself about that. At first, people were like, why are you crying? Is it, is it just because of the breakup and stuff like that? But he was no good for you. And then when I sat down and I thought about it, I realized I was more embarrassed and hurt by my own feelings. I felt like I had lowered my standard. I have put down my sense of self or throw it to the door. I did not act with integrity and dignity that I felt I was worth. I did not blame him. I blamed me. Now, what he did was horrible. But I got to the point where I could accept my part in this whole thing. Face what you're feeling. If you're feeling embarrassed by your actions, if you're feeling torn apart, if you feel like, oh my goodness, this person totally humiliated me, own up to the feeling. And if you feel bad about how you acted in a situation, understand and accept that too, and then forgive yourself. So you've got to face your feeling. And then when you face your feeling, stop daydreaming about them changing or getting back with them. You want to learn to move on. You got to stop entertaining the thoughts in your head that what if they change? What if and what if and what if? You see that what if? If you start going back and daydreaming about the great times that you guys had, you would find yourself slipping right back into a position where you are not letting that person go. You would just be holding on. You also need to remind yourself of the reasons why you had to let go in the first place, why it was good for you. So nothing is wrong with remembering we had a good time. But a lot of the times we find ourselves staying stuck to this person because that's all we could remember. So stop daydreaming. And another thing you want to stop doing is dwelling in the hurt. Yes, I would repeat it over and over again. For as long as you keep those memories alive in your mind, going over and over, is for as long as you would hold on. So start thinking about something else. And don't say that you can't control it. I've had people tell me I can't control my thoughts. If you cannot control your thoughts, then somebody would be happy to control them for you. You can control your thoughts. What we lack a lot of the time is the discipline to control our thoughts. Here we are thinking over and over, oh my goodness, they did this and they said that. Come on, you gotta let it go. And you gotta stop listening to the people who keep feeding you information that keeps you living in your hurt. We gotta know our friends. Know the people who truly support us. Know the people who've got our back. People who have got our backs won't keep bringing information and feeding us information that disturbs us and hurts us. So you got to watch who you are listening to and consider the source. People who want you to heal will bring you information that helps you to heal. Feeding you information about somebody that hurt you does not help in your healing process, because you need to stop thinking about them and you control your thoughts. If you're not controlling the thoughts, the same person who hurt you is the one that's controlling you. And we've got a comment. Hurt comes when you don't understand that their part in your story is over. Oh, definitely. Oh my goodness, that is so true. It's like I said, we think that when we get to know some people, sometimes we rush. Relationships go in stages. My goodness, y'all got me teaching a whole lot longer than I need to. Relationship goes in stages. You got somebody that you first met. You have the acquaintanceship kind of stage where it's just like a getting to know you kind of thing. I see you, yeah, I'm aware that you exist. You've got friendship, which is more of a trust happening here. Somebody that you choose to spend your time with. You know, somebody that you choose to get to know. And you've got courtship where you kind of exclude other persons on this dating scene now, you know, where it's just the two of you guys and stuff like that. And sometimes we skip over a lot of the stages, and we end up connected to individuals on an intimate or tight level where we should have let them go. So in the beginning, you should have let that person go, but you insisted on pushing that relationship. You just decide, look, some people are just good for friendship. Some people are good for acquaintanceship. And some people are good to just see somewhere across the road and y'all go in your opposite direction. And then there are those persons who are worth the knowing. And sometimes because we skip those stages, because we jump over the steps, that's where we end up connected and intertwined to individuals that we should have let go long before they became that connected. Hurt comes, yeah, when you want to hold on to something that you need to let go of. So you want to make sure that you be present in your moments as well. So you're going to stop daydreaming about what if they change. You cannot control people changing or not changing. That's totally up to them. And if a person wanted to change, maybe you had a good influence on them and they thought it was worth the changing, they would have done that already. It would not come down to them destroying you so that they can change. So remember your reasons for letting go. Honor yourself and just cut the contact. Embrace that you felt bad, that you've been hurt, and then you're going to release them by not thinking about them anymore. By every time a thought of them come into your head, find something else to think about. Don't sit down 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week, a day, whatever, going over and over about what this person did and what that person did. When you have talked about it with somebody you trust and you start then not talking about the hurt anymore, you start talking about your healing. When you have sat down and you need to do this, find somebody that you could let it out with. But you do not spend the next 2 years going over and over the hurt. It's like I said, when you go through a surgery, you don't sit down and start thinking after the surgery about what they did during the surgery. You start looking towards your healing and the path of your healing. It is the same thing with letting go. Sit down, find someone you could vent to, whether it take you a day or two to get it all out, how you feel, how they made you feel, what you wish you didn't do, what you wish you had done. And when you had done, you go back and you start talking about how you can overcome, what lessons you have learned, because that is how you let go. By not focusing, by not being attached to a thing or a person is how you let it go. It seems so obvious. It's like me holding a ball in my hand. How do I let go of that ball? I release the contact. I just disconnect me from the ball. That is how we learn to let go. And we hold on by always talking about the individual and the hurt that they cause. We hold on by finding excuses to remain in touch with the person when we know we don't have to remain in contact with them, and we're good at justifying. And we hold on when we don't address the situation, address our feelings, how we feel in the situation. When you hold on to those things and you don't address how you're feeling, face what you're feeling, that's how you hold on. When you start addressing, when you start cutting contact, when you start shifting this mindset from being so focused on the other individual, that is how you let go. And I want to make, oh my goodness, there's so many good points that I could make. I talk about being present. If you're in the here and the now, you can't be living in the past. And if that person is no longer here and now with you, if they're no longer interacting with you on a daily basis, you can't let them go. And even if you are working in the same space and you do not have to be working with them, you can let them go. You can be present in your moment. What is happening in your life now that is good? Hi, Sandra. How are you doing? Thank you so much for coming on. Oh, I see I got two Sandras, Sandra Merritt and Sandra Duncan. Ladies, thank you for joining us. So my last point as we wrap up, live. You want to let go? You be present in your moment. You find something that you're passionate about and you throw yourself heart and soul into it. Before you know it, you are so caught up in the joy and the pleasure that it brings you, you've got no time for the negativity associated with another individual. And it starts doing this. That's what passion does. It creates a wedge and it pushes back what would have happened because you are so caught up in the now moment, in the good thing that you've got going on in your life, in this thing that brings you alive and reaffirms your value and your sense of self. That's what becoming involved in a passion does. It reaffirms your sense of self. It reminds you of who you are. It reminds you of what's good about you and that you can happily live in what's good about you. So let's recap. You want to make sure that you cut contact. And I'm going to demonstrate that just for a purpose. Here we are. This is the person that hurt you. And every thought that you have is like this. 1 thought, 2 thoughts, 3 thoughts, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And every thought that you have clenches that person in. It draws them in closer and you hang on tighter. You want to cut contact. Every time you call that person, that's what it does. Every time you think about them and how they hurt you, that is what it does. You want to stop thinking about them. Stop calling them. Stop making excuses for them in your life. Remind yourself why it was okay to let them go. And slowly but get involved in something that you love so that when you are using these hands and this mind to do something that you love, it has no space for this individual. Before you know it, you have disconnected. And the more things that you fill in your now, you know what starts to happen to this person? They start being pushed further and further and further apart. Before you know it, they're out of your life, out of your space, out of your mind, out of your heart, and you have successfully let them go. That's my message for you today. Face what you're feeling. It's okay to be hurt. Don't stay in the hurt. Let the contact go. Mentally and physically, let them go. You cannot move on and hold on at the same time. Be present in your moments. When you are present here and now, you cannot dwell in the past. Live. Your passion reaffirms your value from your perspective, not somebody else's. Live. Your passion drives a wedge. It takes up the space and the emotion that that individual and their negativity was taking up in your life. Live because you deserve it. Live because you do not, if you have given some of your life to another individual, they do not deserve all of your life. And every time you stay connected to them, whether in thoughts, with words, or with some action, it drains from you. It takes from you. They take part of your life more. So why are you giving your life to the people who are hurting you and destroying you, to the memories that are sucking your life force out of you? Live because you've got life in you and you deserve to live. Live because there's something precious inside of you. Let them go. Let the forces that are sucking you and suffocating you, let them go. I want to thank you so much for joining me this morning. It has definitely been a pleasure. Thank you so much for your interaction. If you've got a comment, a thought that you'd like to share, please do share it in the comments below. And if you know this could help somebody, share it. You never know just by sharing who you might touch, whose life you might transform, who you might stop from committing an act that could just take their lives. Hi, Sandra. Oh, my baby girl is doing wonderful today. She was taking a nap, so kind of coincided really well to jump on here. Thank you so much for asking there. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so you want to share this video because sometimes we just don't know whom we might touch. And I want to tell you guys how I appreciate the messages that I'm getting, the comments. If you got a comment, a thought, go ahead, share it in the comment section below, and I would be on air as soon as it's possible. Thank you so much for joining me. We are here Monday to Fridays at 12 noon Eastern. We are talking going from our broken to our beautiful, but we are not dwelling in the past. We are looking at how we could rise from beneath the darkness into our place of light. Join me on Instagram, join me on Twitter, join my group Unleashed. If you go up top on the page, you will see it right there under the cover page. Comment, like, share, guys, and let's spread this positivity that can transform our lives. Have yourself a good one now.